He's fast and off, yeah.
So anyway, I'm supposed to be watching him, and instead I'm on the show. So here.
That's awesome.
Anyway, no, I just, you look at the conservative movement, and you look at the liberal movement. The liberals seem like they have it together, and I'm not saying that they do. I'm saying that they give that impression, because what's important to them more than anything else is not their own personal ego, it's the cause. Whereas conservatives, it's sort of the opposite. There's a lot, and I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying that the tendencies are there. And
well,
so
I
if I
think there's a lot of, I'm just here for having a good time, I'm just here for the fun and the entertainment and whatever.
Well, I'm here for the donuts. I was promised donuts, so that's why I'm here. Okay, I'm kid.
They lied.
Yeah, the cake is a lie. So,
Geraghty's article, let me hit this real quick.
Please.
Geraghty's article stated this, and it's near the end. But if we're going to get up every morning wearing our cup for the inevitable below-the-belt assault from the left, it would be nice if we could trust the self-professed conservative behind us. That says a lot to me.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, exactly.
And there's always going to be that guy who's just absolutely ready and waiting to stab you in the back. It's really, it's frustrating that you know, I think we've talked about this before a few times, that there's not a willingness to have a broad diversity of opinions in some parts of conservatism. That there is this need for only my definition of conservatism is the right definition of conservatism, and if you do anything, if you say anything that's even remotely outside of it, then you know the nuclear warheads are fired. It's done, and we can't be friends ever because you know you want to be a little bit more aggressive on your policy, trying to get something passed in Congress, or you want to be less aggressive, or we can't have that sort of debate about what we should do and what we should stand for, and have the fact that maybe there is space to have differences of opinion in the conservative movement.
Probably one of the high values that we should encourage is not to shoot at each other. If you think someone's wrong, you can tell them so in a way that doesn't isolate or alienate them from you when you need them again. Is that not a simple concept that we can embrace? That it would probably be good, if you're a part of this conservative army, not to shoot your own guys? And if you want to quibble over the definition of who our own guys are, there's a great big, a great big trench full of all of the control policies, all of the, what is it? I hate it when I lose my word. But all of those guys who want to control and guide our lives and manage us, there's that whole big field between us and the other side. Now, some of our guys may, get a little close to that trench and some of the policies that they embrace, but they're still somebody that we could probably use in an objective to get something done. So I just want people to be thinking of it that way. Point your guns in the correct direction, please.
I think of it as, if anybody out there is willing to put on the conservative uniform and be publicly acknowledged as a conservative of some sort, if he claims to be a part of my team, I'm going to accept that he's part of my team and find a use for him. And if he's attacked, because the left doesn't attack individuals. If the left attacks an individual that is conservative, they will globalize that attack and make that person representative of the entire movement. We see it all the time. So we need to understand that an attack on one of ours is in fact an attack on all of us. And so we have to instinctively, and our first reaction has to be to defend the guy, because we're defending our team. We're defending our side. Now, the guy may be wrong, and we will slow down and take the time to investigate that. And if we find out the guy was wrong, we will expel him from our team. But we will do so. Our first instinct needs to be defend our team against
I'm going to quibble with you there. I'm going to stop you and quibble with you there. I think the first instinct needs to be an adherence to the truth. And that our guys that don't, that are doing things that are deceptive or doing things that are wrong, an adherence to the truth will find that out. And
absolutely, but
it will process.
But in a work situation, if a customer
I'm not going to put it in terms of.
I'm talking about the obviously.
We had some technical difficulties there.
We were fighting each other apparently.
I think that the Fishy was having a little bit of an internet slip there. It was causing some weirdness.
I thought she was trying to do a little Jedi mind trick there on Leslie. I'm right.
I assumed it was the NSA. I'm always going to blame government. My default position is to blame government.
Fishy works for the NSA?
No. Fishy is on my team. I will support her. But I'm saying that when a story first comes out, when an accusation against somebody on my team is first made, when the left accuses somebody on my team, my first instinct is going to be the left is wrong, my guy is right.
That's a better way to put that.
And then I'm going to take the time to find out the truth. But my first instinct should not be that the guy on the left, because he's from Fox News, or the guy on the left because he's famous and important and some professional politician guy. I'm not going to default to that guy is right and my guy is wrong. I'm going to default to I don't know enough, but I will support my team. A good manager will do that. When a customer calls and complains and about something that the manager has no awareness of, the manager has no clue, the manager's first instinct is going to be to presume that his employee had a good reason for saying what he said and doing what he did, and that there's a misunderstanding, and he's going to be sympathetic, but he is not going to take the customer's side against his own employee until he finds the truth. And we need to kind of have a bit more of that. And when we don't know, when it first comes out and we don't have all of the facts, and it's a lefty attacking my entire movement because of something they claim they understand from what one guy on my side may have said or done, I'm going to take the position that my guy probably had a reason, or there's more to the story and my guy is probably right. So I'm going to ask for more time. I am not going to immediately accept the story that the leftist says.
So every week, almost on this show, Andy comes on and talks about how he loves being a conservative now because the left is all about control, and on the right, on our side, there's room for disagreement. We can have differences of opinion on a bunch of major policies, but as long as we're not trying to pass laws to outlaw it for other people, as long as we're allowing people their choice to live their life as they see fit, as long as it doesn't take away our choices to the way we live our lives, then we should support them. If we have an argument about it, maybe go offline. Go to a private message or a private post and discuss it. If you have to call someone out on that thread because you think they're wrong and it's that important, be kind about it. Don't make yourself an enemy of someone that you agree with on 90% of things just because you disagree on this one thing. Think before you act. You have time when you're typing to type your comment out, think about it. Okay, do I really want to send this? How is this going to come across? Maybe read it again before you push send. But if your point is to get conservative messages across, to bring people to our side, to educate people, you need to do it in the right way. You can't just get mad and blow up on all the people on our side. You've got to support each other. We're going to have disagreements, of course we are, but be nice about it.
Ryan, you ignorant slut.
You are too young to know that reference. That's awesome.
But absolutely, you're right that's something that happens, and it's not. There's no need for it. If you're having a disagreement on a subject, there's no reason to get mean about it when you're talking amongst your team. I mean, you can disagree. It shouldn't be a problem at all. You shouldn't have this desire to smash heads together over a difference in policy. I mean, just express your opinion. Say what you don't, say what you think is correct. Say the flaws that you have with the other person's argument, and that's it. There's no need to get into, personal stuff. There's no need to call people out and make, call names. As soon as you get into name calling, it's everything that you've said has been devalued.
Well, the question I have is, and it seems to me very much that the conservative right has this problem a lot, that our guys disagree on things, and we will spend more time more eagerly disagreeing with each other than we spend disagreeing with the left, or we'll spend a lot of time trying to conquer each other than we spend trying to conquer the left. And is that just my perception, or do the people on the left all agree with each other because they're mindless drones, or do they ignore their disagreements in furtherance of the greater good? I mean, is it real that they don't disagree, like what was said at the beginning, or do they just shut up about it, or what?
It depends on the
paid to play roles. They have paid activists that are paid to either focus on going after someone on the right and calling them names and scaring them off a thread, or to pretend to be on the right and post racist things or whatever stereotype they're trying to push at the time, whether it's birther or racist or redneck, or just to make us look bad. So when we do the same things and play into their hands, it's just making it easier for them.
When it comes to does the left disagree on things? Yes, they do, and I've got video to prove it. But it's something that when we're talking about the left, I know we talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we discussed Kurt Schlichter's awesome book, I Am a Liberal, the chapter 3 of that book, when we discussed how the left dodges, the left moves, it's this amorphous blob, and it can really be what people want it to be, and that's how the left uses it. So I think that they are easier to manipulate their people. They have an easier way of manipulating their own guys to have the to sort of downplay a lot of the infighting. That infighting happens on a level that we don't generally get to see.
Yeah, and I think too that when you have a common, when you're drawn together because you hate or because you want to control, it doesn't really matter what the other person thinks so much. You can disagree with them, but ultimately you share a common value, and so you're pushing towards the same thing in the end.
One thing I wanted to add, because when we started this show, oh Lord, I apologize. When we started the show, we talked about how we needed to have a very real conversation, sort of the team sitting down and having a team meeting. And some of those, actually most of them are in private. It's behind closed doors and nobody really talks about it. When the coach is asked about it, he says, well, we just talked about the adjustments we needed to make at halftime and blah, blah, blah. But the reality is if you're messing up, you have that chat, you're making a mistake. There's a time and place for it. And as conservatives, we seem to feel that the time and place is whenever we feel like and whenever we see a perceived or real slight to bring it up. And the problem is that as conservatives, we really need to know the difference in when it's appropriate to engage that. Sometimes it's appropriate to bring it out into public and say it. Other times it's not. Unfortunately, it seems to me, it's my perception anyway, that a lot of conservatives have this idea that it's always boot camp. Boot camp only lasts at most 12 weeks, and then it's over. That's 3 months max. If you're in the Air Force, it's half that. Now, boot camp is a time where everything that you do is wrong, okay? It doesn't matter if it's right, it's still wrong, okay? And you're yelled at for a reason. But there's a purpose behind it. It's to break you down as individuals and form you up as a group. So you have instructors who actually have your good in mind because they're wanting to keep